It's dropping people pretty quick.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is T-Space, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Tee, where you, the viewers, ask me any question relative to Battlefield 3 or off the topic of Battlefield 3, whether that be a personal question or another game. So, to start off this week's episode, John Shepard 713 asks, "I really enjoy your videos, and I'm glad I subscribed to you. My question is, what would you like to see in Battlefield 4, and also what would you like to see fixed in Battlefield 3? To tell you the truth, for the first question, I would like to see suppression removed from Battlefield. I really don't think it's a good mechanic at all in the game. I don't like how it aids, I guess you could say, terrible players or just not skillful players. Because let me put it this way. So in pretty much every FPS genre, people have the decency, or they have the common sense not to stand in fire. So adding the suppression effect in Battlefield 3 is quite stupid because it's not needed. Most people who have, a brain that is working will understand that, oh, I shouldn't be standing here when I'm getting shot, so I should go for cover. Because I don't think suppression, helps anyone, or I guess it does help people who are using it, but I mean, it's catering towards the people who are less skilled in the game. Tell you the truth, if they don't remove Battlefield, or if they don't remove suppression from Battlefield, I sincerely hope they just change the mechanics of it. The mechanics of how suppression work are dreadful, in my opinion. I feel that the random bullet spread is too much. I don't think it's manageable. I think it's stupid. I don't think it should be like that. If they keep suppression in, I think suppression should only increase one's recoil, because that way even a skilled player can actually shoot back at a person who is purposely missing their target. I mean, purposely missing a target and getting rewarded for that just doesn't seem right in my book. I don't feel like that's the best thing that DICE could have implemented into the game. Now, what I would like to see fixed in Battlefield 3 kind of supports what I said before about suppression, and this is the bipod. Now, the bipod was probably one of the most underused attachments when Battlefield 3 actually came out, and after this recent buff, it is probably one of the most used attachments for at least the LMGs. And making them making the LMGs into like an automatic sniper rifle with like 200 bullets. For an example, I play a lot of Striker Karkin. The reason being is because Pack plays a lot of Striker Karkin, and well, he doesn't play any other maps, so we only play Striker Karkin. So anyhow, let's say for an example on Striker Karkin, we are capturing D. Now keep in mind that we always play on large conquest, or conquest large, so we have all 8 flags. I think there's 8, right? Yeah. So basically we're capturing D, which is on one side of the map, and we decide to go to E because let's say it's contested, or the enemy is over there and they're about to cap it. So we're like, okay, why don't we go defend E? So as we're running down from D, there's a guy at G with a bipod raining hell upon us, extremely accurate, and he just kills us. It's retarded. I don't think a bipod should be turned into a sniper rifle, or a bipod shouldn't turn an LMG into a sniper rifle, because it just doesn't seem right. I understand that the bipod was was underused in the past, but making it so that it's extremely accurate at far range is quite stupid. I think it's a little overkill, and I think they really need to dumb that down a lot. But those are the two things that I would like to see and see fixed for both Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. Now moving on to the next question comes from Wesley NLD Xbox Live, and he asks, what does the T in T-Space mean? Well, to tell you the truth, there are both both the T and the space in my name have their own meaning. So when I was younger, I would say back in middle school or so, I got into this game called Guild Wars. Now Guild Wars was a buy-to-play MMORPG, and that pretty much means you bought the game and there was no subscription fee. So it was pretty awesome. And being in 6th grade, you didn't have to worry about asking your parents to say, oh, can you fork over $15 a month so I can play this game. I didn't have to ask that question because there was no need. And basically, with this game, I played a lot with my friends. We got really into it, and we kind of focused on the PvE sides. And basically, PvE stands for player versus environment. Now, keep in mind, throughout this entire story, there's going to be a lot of acronyms. I'm going to explain them to you, but just try to keep up. So anyhow, we played PvE a lot. We did a lot of quests. We did dungeons. We did missions, yada, yada, yada. We leveled up. It was really fun. And then after a while, it got kind of dull because we pretty much finished all the PvE aspects of the game. So we thought the game was kind of over. I didn't want the game to be over. I still enjoyed it a lot, so I decided to go over to the PvP side of the game. And PvP stands for player versus player. And this is where it was kind of more competitive. It was your arenas, your death matches, and stuff like that. And basically, overall, it was a little more competitive. So within the PvP areas, there'd be different arenas. There'd be RA or random arenas where you'd be put into a random group of 4, and then you would fight another random group of 4, and it'd be like kind of just like a death match to see who can kill which team first and whatnot. There would be Hall of Heroes, which was kind of like a tournament kind of gimmicky kind of game where you either cap flags, capture points, kill the other team, or kill ghostlies or something like that. I don't really remember that much, but it was kind of like a tournament style game. So you'd go from one level to the next, and then when you get to the last level, which was Hall of Heroes, you would fight like kind of a King of the Hill style, and whoever wins would get like a bunch of prizes and stuff like that. And last but not least, the main PvP area that I used to play a lot was GVGing, and basically GVGs was a guild versus guild, and that was an 8-on-8 skirmish to see who can destroy the other guild's guild lord first. So since I made GVGing my primary PvP source of awesomeness, I joined a team, and it was pretty fun. Now in PvP there would be a bunch of different builds, or I guess for you Battlefielders that don't understand what builds are, there were different layouts, I could say, that made it so that your team would do better in this aspect than this aspect. So there'd be balance builds, there'd be pressure builds, there'd be spike builds, there'd be gank builds. So basically the main build that we focused on as a team was a spike build. Now the spike by definition is pretty much doing a mass amount of damage pretty much instantly to one target, or multiple targets if you are able to do it, but mainly it's just one target. So basically you would spike down a target and he would instantly die, and basically you take so much damage within a matter of a second that the healer or the medic wouldn't be able to out heal the damage output. So he would just instantly die. So in a situation or in an event that someone would call for a spike, they would call 3, 2, 1 spike, and we'd all use our most powerful attacks, and we'd hopefully do it at the same time to the point where the guy's health would just instantly disappear, and we'd get the kill. So when our caller would call out the target, all I'd have to do was hit T to target the target, and then hit space, which I bound to my most powerful skill at the time. And basically that's pretty much what my name means. It pretty much means target and attack. So yeah, that's my story of my name. Alright, moving on to the next question. Comes from Mega Derpage. And he says, I saw that you commented, or I saw that you played competitively, and I wanted to know what competitive players you used to play against. To tell you the truth, since I kind of played competitively in the very beginning of Battlefield 3, no one was really that good, even though they had a lot going for them, whether it would be Rival or any other team that you probably knew in the past from Battlefield. Everyone was at the same level because it was a new game. No one really knew what to do, what the strategies were, yada yada yada, how to compensate for this and that. They didn't know which guns would be the best and all like that. I mean, of course, we figured it out within a couple weeks, but still, we were still pretty fresh and new about it. So, in my opinion, I really didn't face that many, great teams at the time. Even though I played against Rival, I played against Nexus, I played against. No, we didn't play against Team Hot, but we played against a plethora of teams, and some of them kind of got weeded out and they didn't want to play anymore. But other teams have strived to become the best, like I guess you could say Rival or Nexus or even Team Hot. To tell you the truth, I personally think that Team Hot, if you ever watched them, was probably the best team in Battlefield. Even better than Rival, for those of you who are fanboys. I'm pretty sure Team Hot would completely cream Rival, like nobody's business. It was crazy how awesome they were. And if you ever watched any of their videos, when they play matches, they're so nonchalant about it. They're so like goofy. They're not so serious where they're calling out things and they make the whole scene intense and serious. They kind of joke around. It's almost at the point where they're so good that they think everyone is so bad that they could just fool around while they're playing a competition match for, like, I don't know, for a prize. It was amazing just to watch them, and the amount of skill that they had was just unmatched at the time. Of course, they're not playing this game anymore. I don't know where they went, but they're not playing Battlefield anymore, it doesn't seem like, so they're kind of gone. But anyhow, I really didn't play with that many great players because at the time they weren't great players. They were all, you know, same level. So I guess that'll answer your question, hopefully. Alright, moving on to the next question. Comes from New Fear's Beast, and he says, how do I get my topic ideas, and how do I get series ideas? Do I watch other YouTubers, or does it just come naturally to me? To tell you the truth, it comes naturally to me, and it comes from other YouTubers. So basically, I kind of get some ideas by watching other YouTube videos. I see what works and what doesn't work. So for an example, for a series that doesn't work, in my opinion, I seriously don't like those weapon reviews, like the weapon reviews that, you know, tell you how to use this gun, because pretty much in Battlefield 3 all the guns are pretty much the same, or at least the weapon reviews are. Basically all they're gonna tell you is this is how the recoil goes, you just do the exact opposite. I mean, anyone with a brain can, you know, figure that out. You don't really need to have someone tell you that stuff and, you know, just say, oh, whoa, I never thought of that. I just have to pull the opposite way of the recoil. Oh my god, this is like an intervention for me. No, I mean, most people will probably understand that that's what you're supposed to do when you're aiming with a certain gun. I mean, once you learn the recoil, whether it goes up to the left or right to the left, I mean, that's pretty much, you know, the norm of most guns. You just do the opposite of that pattern, and you'll be fine. So I think those, you know, those weapon reviews are kind of stupid. And also, those weapon reviews that have the whole history behind the gun, I don't understand why they do that. I think it's pointless. It's not going to help you out in the game whatsoever, unless if you're like a historian that loves to, like, learn about history, and it gives you like a mental boost, like, wow, this gun was made in the 1970s. I love the 1970s. That means I'm going to do well with it. I mean, if you're one of those people, then go ahead. I mean, that'll probably help you. But for the most people that watch these videos, they don't care. They don't care about the dates. They don't care where it was made. They don't care what kind of bullet it shoots, because that doesn't really factor into the actual game. If it did, then yeah, I wouldn't call it stupid. But since it doesn't, I'm gonna call it pretty stupid. So I get my ideas from that. I make sure that, you know, if a series doesn't work, then, you know, I you know, scratch it, and I, you know, think of something else. To tell you the truth, if I decide to make another series, I spend a good time on it. I'd spend at least maybe a week or two deciding whether or not this is a good topic or a good series to actually put on my channel. I want to make sure that everyone would enjoy it. It wouldn't be boring, yada yada yada. I just, you know, want to weed out the errors in my idea, and if it has too many errors, then I just scrap the idea in general, because I feel that it doesn't, you know, it won't fit, people won't like it, and it'll be very boring, or it'll be a very bad series. So that's pretty much where I get my inspiration and stuff like that. Now moving on to the last question, it comes from a guy with no pie. I give you a pie so you can have a pie. And basically he asks, what is your advice for people who play aggressive recon on consoles and are switching to PC? I've actually answered this question in the past, but I'll answer it again. So basically, if you are playing aggressive recon on consoles and you decide to switch to PC, the main thing in my opinion that you should be worried about is not the aiming or the movement, because I'm pretty sure you'll get that down within like the first few days or something. But the main thing that you should be worried about is the actual button layout. I used this description before, but basically in console players, you pretty much use three fingers. You use your thumbs, you use your index finger, and you use your middle finger. Those are the three main fingers that you use on both hands. And then your ring finger and your pinky finger are kind of like grips. They basically hold onto your controller. Now, if you switch over to a PC version of the game, you have to actually open up your middle finger and your pinky finger for your keyboard use. Well, at least that's what I had to do when I switched from console to PC. And basically, there are a bunch of different buttons, and all the buttons aren't really close together. They're kind of awkward and weird placed. I mean, of course you can, you know, map them the way you want to, but if you want to keep it default, all the buttons are, you know, kind of around your left hand, but not really. They like, for an example, the Z key, I actually have to hit it with my middle finger, and to tell you the truth, that was really weird. I had to get used to that, and it was just really difficult for me, and I don't know, it took me a while, but when I got used to it, I got used to it. So that's probably the huge, or the main thing that you should be focusing on when you do switch over to PC. is the button layouts. Now you might be saying, well, how does the button layouts affect my aggressive recon? Well, when you're playing aggressive recon, you need to know what you can use at your disposal. You want to be able to switch through your weapons effectively and instantly. You don't want to be, well, this is my opinion, you don't want to be scrolling through your weapons with the mouse wheel. I don't really think that's effective. I think it's pretty slow, and you might get killed while you're doing it. So basically learning how to click 1 through 6, I guess you could say. I think that's the default. I changed a little bit because mine's 1 to 5, but I think default's like 1 to 6 or something like that. So basically learning how to do 1 through 6 or 1 through 4 or whatever is extremely important. Like switching to your pistol, you need to know how to switch to your pistol, so you need to use your middle finger, or at least that's the finger I use to hit 2 and then switch to my pistol, which is, you know, bound to my pistol, and then vice versa. I need to switch back to my main weapon. I hit 1 or something like that. Getting used to all those buttons will in turn aid you and, you know, help you become a better aggressive recon, I guess you could say, in PC. Aiming and all like that will come in time, so there's really no quick fix for that. So just take your time when you are getting used to the aiming and, you know, getting used to the movements. But that's pretty much the last question that I have for today's episode of Off the Tee. Now, if you do want to be featured for the next episode of Off the Tee, go ahead and send me a private message titled Off the Tee, and you'll be featured for the next episode. The reason why I ask you guys to do this is because it makes it a lot easier for me to find these questions, so I don't have to, like, you know, search through the comments and all like that and just pick certain ones or whatever. And it also makes it easier for me to organize them a lot. So please title it Off the Tee and send me a private message. Don't leave any comments in this, or don't leave any questions in the comments below, unless if it's like a simple question like, oh, do you like, what's your favorite color, blue or red? Then yeah, I'll answer it in the comments. But I mean, if it's more of an in-depth question, go ahead and email me, or not email me, go ahead and send me a private message titled Off the Tee. But I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Off the Tee. Like always, leave a comment down below, tell me what you thought, give me a like or dislike to know for sure. If you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and once again, my name is T-Space, and I will catch you guys later.